Evening, everybody. How are we all doing? And welcome to BRL. We are here for round two at Imola. Obviously, San Marino Grand Prix. Hence the lack of Italian badging that I've given it. Even though everyone else in BRL gave it Italian, but if I said Italian Grand Prix, everyone would think we're at Monza, and we're not. So we are at Imola, which is personally my favourite Italian track. I love Monza to pieces, but it's a bit straight, isn't it? You know, you want with a bit of curve, bit of life, bit of style. Really does have that. It was a really good race last time out. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The late safety car made it very interesting right at the finale of the race, and it changed right at the last moment. So hopefully we get something. It might not be quite as exciting as we had last time, but hopefully it's somewhat interesting. That's all we can ever hope for at the end of the day. You can't really ask for much more when it comes to this lot racing. Nevertheless, we should probably get on and actually look at some racing because they are quite a way into qualifying at the moment. 18 minutes on the clock and we're already down to 15. So here we go. I'll bring you in so you can see what I'm seeing and hear the noise that I'm hearing. I'm actually trying to currently find who's going to be first across the line, though I do think I found it. I think it's Alligator, because our Henson's coming around the final corner. Yes, it will be Alligator. The Alpine, who's set to have a colour change. It's going back to red for the next Grand Prix in real life. And I've seen it, and it's nice. So I'm going to have to spray the back of my throat. With a 116.251 has been obliterated by Pulse Ray almost immediately. A 115.5, and we're just going to have an absolute mountain of people come through. Next up is Bluebird, but he's just invalidated, so he dives into the pit lane. Mercedes through Lex, that's Hunters. He hasn't invalidated, so he will be going to the line. Let's see how he gets on. A 116.1. Dark, I'm guessing that is what's it? That's Alligator that's just comes. Oh no, it's not. It's Kick in the bright green, and then we got a Williams just coming through. Cadem, E5, very slow. That's clearly not a flying lap, so no need to worry about that one. Blackbone on an out lap, just getting started. Nothing to worry about there. We've got a McLaren coming through. That'll be our Henson. He's invalidated. We're getting a lot of invalidations at the moment, so this could certainly be interesting. He's on an outlap. We've got an Aston Martin after outlap. Then a Williams. So Jay Thompson going to be the next man to go to the line, so long as he doesn't invalidate on these last two corners. Gets very close to the outside of the second to last run-off point, and there we go. He's going to go across the line, and he's actually going to set a time, and it's going to put it P2 as well. Pretty good time, but Orion has just gone and put in a 115 dead and has blown away anybody else's time as it currently stands. So work is to be done for everybody else. Interesting enough, Bad MX currently on a set of medium tyres. If he gets, oh my god, he's gone fastest. What in the Lord's name have I? Why has somebody on mediums just gone fastest? I'm very glad I have tier 1 chat up because somebody is going to question this. How is that possible? I don't know. That's ridiculous. And I know Orion would have been going for it. You know, he might not have gotten a perfect lap off. But to still beat him by 2/10 on a set of mediums, just ridiculous. Right, I think we might... I know it might have been one quali lap, but I think we might have a competitor for this race. I think we might have somebody a bit interesting. Both R. Henson and Aramleth coming in after being out on the track a good few laps already, and neither of them are yet to set a time. So it's not a good start for the weekend of McLaren. Haas there invalidating at the first chicane. He's got to do all the lap now, where he's basically useless. He can't actually do anything. There's no one on a flyer now. And he's now in the gravel, and he's back out of the gravel. So we may as well watch somebody on an outlap. I'm going to go with Mr. Cookie. I'll go with Mr. Cookie because he'll be the first across the line of the people that are now starting to come out, which should be interesting. Bluebird is on a flyer. He's just slightly further up the road. He's coming down into turn 2, 3. Has managed to get through it pretty comfortably. Rain 30 minutes into the race due to our Henson. And I say due to our Henson. Bad MX, bro, mediums feel good. Really? I'm shocked. You've gone fastest on them. I'd like to think that mediums feel good. But mediums, by the sounds of it, are going to be a pretty good strategy for the race. Don't put mediums down in the gutter because they could certainly be of help and of use by the sounds of it. Bluebird's doing a pretty decent lap so far. We have sort of just been watching him as I've been waffling on about something or another. Either way, he's going to put a fastest sector 2 time in, but I don't know whether that's the bug. It could very well be the bug. I don't know whether it transferred over into this game or not. I've got no idea yet, but he put a fastest sector 1 in, fastest sector 2. Somewhere towards the top, then I'll believe that it's true. But I genuinely have no idea, if I'm honest. Ooh, very close to invalidating. And again, managed to keep at least one tyre over the white line. And he's going to come across the line and go P3, 6/10 off the pace, though. Is a huge deficit. Though, in all fairness, he's right there with Blackbone, Pulse Ray, J. Thomas. They're all kind of within that range. Mr. Cookie just about to come across the line. Goes 1:14.3 on a set of softs. So balance is beginning to be restored here in Imola. And a few people, front runners especially, coming out onto outlaps. So expect to see them over the next coming laps. I'm just trying to find anybody of interest that might be going for a time. And I think Alligator Bar is going for a time. He's going to come across the line. And he's going to put in a 1:17.9. Significantly slower than his best time so far. So I'm guessing that was sort of a write-off probably towards the end of the lap. Just simply because of the nature of it wasn't it was slower, significantly slower, but it wasn't like ridiculously like 14 seconds slower. It was only so second or third section. Oh shake. Aim is so poorly optimized. Excuse me. So we've now got Orion and Bad MX, both on flyers, both very close to each other. In fact, you can see just a car right in the back there. That is Bad MX. So they're both out on track. So actually going to have to check. He is now on to set of softs. Orion set of softs once again. So Bad MX will be looking for improvements in his time. But you kind of like to expect that. Switching over to a faster set of tyres. Obviously higher degradation, but this is qualifying. That doesn't matter. Orion just about to finish sector 2 here. He is half a second quicker at the moment. Still needs to find 2/10 in this final sector. Bad MX didn't get to see his time, I'm afraid. I don't know how much faster he is, but by the looks of it, hasn't set a purple sector 2 time. Orion coming through. It's decent through there. Pretty quick. Does get a... Will come across the line now. No invalidations for him. That's P2. Bad MX across the line. It goes fastest. 1:14.2. 8.2. Not a lot slower. No, sorry, faster than Mr. Cookie. 0.04 of a second. So still a lot to play for. Pardon me. In what will be the final run of the day. Williams car with, honestly, even though they might have gotten rid of my favourite kind of style steering wheel, it's still the nicest wheel on the grid. Either way, Jay Thompson has just done a big improvement, gotten himself up to P4. Amalef finally set a time, currently P9. Our Henson is still yet to set a time, but he is about to come across the line, so we'll see how he goes. P16 currently, P14. It's not a good time. 1:16.8, I think that was, but I didn't quite get to finish reading it, unfortunately. Blackbone on a slow lap, Pulse on a out lap, Amalef on an in, so rushing in by the looks of it. I've got to say, the clouds are pretty grey. There's no, set time for it to, you know, start raining, but you never know. It could happen. Could very well happen. Either way, they're diving into the pit lane now. So, Pulse and Bluebird, only 2 people on out laps. Pulse will be the first man across. And I think Bluebird is, yeah, just to go behind. So, once again, we're going to have 2 drivers in tandem to see how they get along. I'll probably talk you through the track a little bit. Imola was one of my favourite circuits. So, you've got turn 1, this tight chicane, never used to be there. Came in after the 1994 disaster. And now through into the second chicane, much faster than the first. You can really swing it through those corners, but you have got to get on the brakes pretty soon for the hairpin. He's done that wonderfully, heading up the hill and towards just a stupidly fast corner for the fact that you can't see an absolute thing, and then it just opens up towards the second half of the corner, and then a slight run up the hill. I love this corner as well because you have just got to get the exit perfect. You can kind of run the exit through a little bit where you haven't got to worry about it quite so much. Purple, sector 2, 2/10 faster. Bluebird, 4/10 faster through sector 2. Significantly better. Pulse into sector 3 and down into the double left-handers. It's really nice when you get these 2 both hooked up and then get a good exit. Obviously, then the most unstraight straight known to man. Pulse Ray is going to come across, go to P6, beats Bluebird. Is Bluebird going to go straight back in front? Yes, he is. Not only that, he's going to jump up to P4 and put himself within half a second of the leader. We have 4 minutes of qualifying left. Wara outstanding lap by me. Oh, what a oh, sorry. My brain just completely died there. What an outstanding lap it was. That was truly incredible. Tier 2 is calling your name. Oh, hello. Oh, you know, yeah, it's just no, maybe not calling your name, but you might get an email from them. No, you'll be fine. Just gotta fix up. It's really frustrating the fact they just completely changed the handling of controllers, like a good couple, like month or so into a game's production. I don't get that in the slightest. You get a wheel. There you go. No problem. Right, we should probably start talking about the fact that we have just 3.5 minutes of qualifying left, and our current pole position has just started a flying lap, getting through sector 1 very quickly and efficiently. We'll see how he gets on coming up to the timing board. Just before the hairpin is our sector 1 finish point. So here it is. It is better, 0.14 seconds faster than his previous best sector 1 time. Am I going to... Sector 1 probably isn't the hardest. Sector 2 you can definitely sort of win or lose the most time. Sector 3. In fact, actually, thinking about it, Imola is probably one of the most even for sectors. But there's a decent amount in each sector. 3/10 faster now. He's putting in a very good time, I can tell you that, unless he bottles sector 3. Because sector 3, not only have you got that super tight hairpin, if you slightly overcook that, you're losing so much time, or undercook it. And then you've got the 2 left-handers that are really easy to invalidate at. So yeah, I think it's probably one of the most even for sectors, I'm going to say, in like quality per sector. It's a 14 dead as it stands, a 1:14.062 to beat. Orion has got a lot of work to do, and he's not going to get it done because he has just invalidated, and he has no ERS whatsoever. Obviously, he's going to... I guess he's got to try and go for another lap, but he just hasn't got the energy for it. He's going for it, obviously, but what time would it have been? It would have been a 14:1, which would have put him up towards the top, and he's backing off, interestingly enough. Oh, I know exactly what he's doing. He wanted to see how he was doing in comparison, get a time. I was about to say recharge the energy and get going again, but I don't know whether that's allowed. Might have just caught you red-handed there, Orion. Not sure whether that's legal. But as I say, I'm not sure whether that's legal. Nevertheless, Mr. Cookie is well and truly into his lap, and he is currently not doing very well. He's going to have a really good Sector 3 here if he wants to get pole position. In fact, he's going to have to go about 3/10 faster in one sector alone. I don't think even Bad MX did that. I think topped out at 2/10 faster in a sector, in Sector 2. Either way, he's going to come through here. Is he going to be able to get pole position? I doubt it. Oh my God, that's close. 5,000ths of a second. Mr. Cookie not quite etching onto pole position. Brutal, brutal stuff. Orion invalidated a 0.1. Yeah, I know, we were watching. That's why he wanted to keep it. Oh, sliding all over the gap. That's not going to set him up. Oh, that's really not going to set him up well for the lap. Hence why he's coming in. Don't blame him. Who else have we got out on track? We've got Jay Thompson. This could be interesting. He could possibly get himself up onto P3 here, because if he gets himself close to P4, he's getting himself close to P3, but he has got a lot of work to do if he wants to get there. Bluebird and Orion, though, are out. He hasn't got to worry about them improving. He might do this, you know. Quarter of a second faster through the second sector. This should be interesting. Jay Thompson coming through the final two corners. Doesn't want to. Oh, he's invalidated it. Oh, he'll be fuming with that. That could have been P3. Instead, it will be P5 and nearly a second slower than our fastest time. Our Henson pulled it back to P6. Just a 10th slower than Jay Thompson. Blackbone in P7. And I think everyone's pretty much done. Mr. Cookie just meandering about the track. Holding everybody up, as Cookie does. Mr. Cookie. Slowly tottering along. Oh, and trying to kill himself in the process. That's a very Mr. Cookie thing to do. Right, well, whilst we just wait for the final cars to be backed into the pits, I can tell you for free that this Bad MX Mr. Cookie battle, I think is sure as hell going to be interesting. And Orion put in a good time, obviously invalidated right at the very end. But that could be interesting. I think it was about a 10th. 10th and a bit off those two times. Maybe even just a 10th. Obviously, it says 6/10, but it was invalidated, so you can't really make the call. So anyway, Bad MX starts on pole position for the Red Bull team, with Mr. Cookie for the sister team in P2, Orion in P3 for Kick, and Bluebird in P4 for the Scuderia, Jay Thompson P5 for Williams, and our Henson P6 for McLaren, Blackburn P7 for Red Bull, and Pulse Ray P8 for Aston Martin, Vinner in P9 for RB, and Brian in Kick for P10, and then just running through them, Sassfire, Cadem, Alligator, Aramleth, Hunters, and CSR Wolf round out the pack. This could certainly be a very interesting turn one. I can tell you that much for free. I don't know quite what's going to happen, but could be sort of one of those times where just all hell in high water breaks loose. Alrighty, let's get going. It's 5 red lights in San Marino, and we are away. Bad MX gets off to a very wobbly start. Lots of oversteer, but he has still managed to pull away in front of the RB straight off the bat. And we've got absolute chaos running in. There's about 15 wide at some points of the track. Front few made it through very nicely. Great moves by the Ferrari there to keep himself in P4 after attacks and threats on other drivers. The Aston Martin there getting off track. That's going to cause a massive backlog just behind him. I think the Williams is going to try and go for it in the Aston Martin. I thought he went absolutely flying there, but just lag. Haas making a deep move there into the left-hander. I think he has managed to pull it off. Yes, he has. Fantastic move by Satisfyer. And that's an Alpine in the wall. That's Alligator gone off track there. That'll be a yellow flag in Sector 2 as of right now. No major damage by the looks of it. Might have a bit of wing damage, but by the looks of it, he's gotten out of that pretty unscathed. Ban MX gets off to a pretty decent start. Already pulled half a second to Mr. Cookie, who sits behind on the same set of tyres. In fact, mediums seem to be the main choice. There's a couple of hards dotted about there, but I'm going to say the vast majority is mediums. And by the looks of it, these three plus Bluebird is sticking in there nearly. Could definitely try and, you know, push up a little bit. 0.7 of a second, but there's 1.4 back. So Bluebird, almost in his own little realm already, could certainly prove to be bit dull for him, I've got to say. Last place you want to be is in your own little realm, but it means you can get some consistent times in and just sort of generally improve your craft. Mr. Cookie could have gone for a move there, elected not to. That's tactical, without a shadow of a doubt. That was tactical. Possible race strategies, it's either a 1 or a 2 stop. Medium to hard is the primary setup. If you've got a hards on, you're either waiting for a safety car to then try and put on the set of softs, or you're putting on mediums and just going for the alternate strategy, maybe try and get the overcut. Either way, Mr. Cookie struggling a little bit out of that chicane. That's going to allow for the kit car to be able to have, yeah, I was going to say put on an attack. He didn't do particularly much, but it did force Mr. Cookie into a defensive position, so make sure that the Sauber knows that the RB is going to try and defend in position, but he's going for it anyway. Down at the left-hander, has made it work very nicely. Orion gets himself up into P2. Mr. Cookie concedes to P3, and this is the issue. That's just opened up a massive gap between him and MX. Could have been used quite easily for MX to get away. Unfortunately for him, though, cars behind have DRS, and before you know it, they're right back on his gearbox just moments later. Oh, Orion already significantly slower through that chicane, but you make it up and you lose it. And Mr. Cookie really struggling by the looks of it, understeer especially, not getting the most out of the front end of his car. I don't know whether he's picked up wing damage or not, but it certainly seems that way. It seems that he's going to turn the wheel and the car is just saying nah and just going straight on. Which, I mean, Formula 1 cars, for the ultra grippy things they are, they do sometimes just say, yeah, no, I don't want to do that, and they kind of just do their own thing sometimes, and I think that might be the case, but you never know. Well, Orion has clearly made some progression since we last saw him, and with the amount of DRS help that we saw last time around, what was it? About 0.7 of a second. It was about 0.2 by the end of it. He's just gone and set fastest lap. He can definitely put on a move it. It's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to go down the inside for turn 2, I believe. Gets it done very nicely. The Sauber car makes his way into the lead there, starting P3 as well. So Orion doing a very good job in getting himself towards the front pretty quickly in just 4 laps. Not even that, in 3 laps, because we start on lap 1, don't we? So all lap 1, all lap 2, all lap 3, and start lap 4, he makes the move. Easy as you like. So Bluebird, thing is, Bluebird hasn't gotten particularly further away. He's exactly the same. If he gets out of DRS, he's had it. Mr. Cookie has gotten a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings already. He was looking competitive, and all of a sudden, Cookie isn't looking particularly competitive. I mean, he's keeping up with the crowd. That's the big bit. That's the important bit. But he's not exactly putting himself in the utmost perfect position to, you know, go on to win the race. Thing is, he could be leading the race right now, and he's finishing P4, P5. Probably not P5 at this rate, but if he was leading the, if he where he was at the moment, he's not far off of being P5 if we was across the line. Red Bull's going to go for the move, and I think the RB is going to follow suit. Don't go for the move on the Red Bull. That's a terrible idea, Mr. Cookie. Thank you for listening. Whoa, what happened to Orion? Oh dear. Must have turned far too late for that corner because he somehow managed to find himself in P4. I'm guessing through the help of a gravel trap. Bluebird has progressed up to P3, but also now has a penalty. Of what degree? I mean, this probably, it just popped up on screen. Yeah, 3 seconds. Only thing is he's now 1.2 out, which means obviously Orion will get DRS from the Ferrari. Won't get DRS from anybody else in front. Benefit of that is it means getting past the Ferrari is easier because the Ferrari hasn't got DRS to help boost its speed. Downside is once he's passed the Ferrari, not only has he got the Ferrari in his DRS, which is just the same thing in reverse, you're really prone to get overtaken by, and B, he hasn't got DRS in front, so he hasn't got much of a chance of picking up on him when Mr. Cookie's 2/10 behind. He's about to batter Bad MX down this straight. Not only batter, he'll be a good 0.3 of a second in front by the time they make to the end of turn. By the time they make it to turn 1 or turn 2, I'm not sure whether that's considered turn 1 or not. Yeah, look at that, nearly quarter of a second, 0.3 of a second. You get such a benefit of having DRS there. And downside for Orion is he hasn't done it. Our Henson really lost a couple of positions there, unfortunately. Down to P10. Mercedes just getting through there. Hunters. Though in all fairness, slightly better line by the McLaren, slightly better exit for the Mercedes. He's getting wide early, whereas it's brilliant looking at how different people approach different corners. It's super interesting to see what approaches people make. So the Mercedes is, our Henson picking up a 3-second time penalty for that. That's unfortunate. Mercedes is quite clearly, takes it a little bit wider but carries a bit more speed through. Whereas McLaren likes to get himself tucked in and get himself out quickly. Ow, that hurt. Just whacked my elbow on my desk. Yeah, that hurt. And yeah, it makes for really interesting watching. I think Bad MX will have him back here. Yeah, no, 0.3 of a second, he's having it back. This is going to be such a boring game of yo-yo, I'm going to be honest. I think Orion's got it done as well. He's going around the outside. Ferrari defended pretty early there, and I think he might... Oh, God, that was close. Ferrari, possible switchback? No, not a good enough exit. Got himself in the right position. Didn't get the exit. Sauber with a much, much better exit. Comfortably keeps P3. 3-second time penalty for Orion now. So Bad MX, the only driver in the top 4 to not be holding on to a penalty, and a big kick out there by the Sauber car, but he's managed to keep P3. And Flinner has DNF'd in the pit lane. That's nothing to worry about. So is Armelef. I'm sure you were aware by now that that was the case. Bad MX, 3-second time penalty. Okay, so everybody's level pegging again. It's not kind of... Everyone. Thing is, right, is I stand by this. This isn't saying something bad about these drivers because they're good. Like, and I know, especially like the top 5, who I know most of. I don't know Bad MX, but I know all the rest of them. They're good drivers. Jay Thompson's doing an impeccable job at the moment to have not picked up a penalty by the looks of it. Yeah, I think it is just the game's handling. It just kicks your car out. So you're forced to correct. And thus, Bluebird's gotten through. Nice move by the Ferrari. Slightly less competitive than the Sauber, but keeping up nevertheless. Maybe tarnishing the Sauber's pace a little bit and chances of winning this race well and truly. Nearly 3 seconds back now, these two. I don't know whether it's in Bluebird's best interest to keep fighting. I think it's in Bluebird's best interest to... Excuse me. I think it's in his best interest to keep hold of DRS. I don't think it's his best interest to race. Benefit is if he keeps Orion behind for a lap, that means next lap he'll probably have DRS. can't lose DRS quite as easily, if that makes sense. Okay, you only get it half the time, but there's much less risk. Obviously, you've got the risk of overtaking them everything. Weirdly, that's almost a better risk than just, you know, you having one rubbish mistake and then you being without outside of a second. Whoa, big correction there for Mr. Cookie. Got the car in a very interesting angle for that point on track. There's some sort of, don't want to be facing that way. Either way, he's back through. And yes, I can already describe I know what my 3 world race roundup is going to be. Oh my god, I just sort of did a Jonathan Ross head. I started using my W's. I know what my 3 word race roundup's going to be. Yo-yo time. Because that is all that's happening at the moment. just yo-yo overtakes. And the thing is because everybody knows they'll be able to get an overtake down the main straight. Oh, hello. I was about to say they don't fight anywhere else. And then 2 people pop up on my screen fighting somewhere else. Orion's desperate to get past him. Desperate. Only the downside is if he gets past here, Bluebird's gonna have him down into turn 1 again. This is the issue. You make a great move and say, oh yeah, nice, I'm in P3 now, and then you're just gonna lose it on the start finish straight again. I'm not saying that's how it should be. I'm just saying that's how it is. Sometimes how it is oh, it's how it is, isn't it? That's the bit you got to focus on. Sapphire has picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Bad MX has repassed the RB down the main straight. And the Sauber is going to pass the Ferrari down the main straight. I've got to say, though, first of all, Bad MX is on a set of hards. Thompson's on a set of hards. Thompson's doing well for a set of hards, being not half a second, just over a second. Bluebird, 3-second time penalty. That takes him up to 6. Here, 3 drivers on 6 seconds. Everyone else is on 3, bar Blackbone and Jay Thompson and Alligator, who are on none. Interesting times in the race. So, yeah, as I was saying, tyres-wise, mediums for the front runners. Thompson, first set of hards. Not far, you know, from tyre switching time. I say not far. It's probably about, what, 70, say. My guess will be lap 70. You can tell I just don't play this game. I have no idea when they're due. But lap 17 sounds about right. It's acceptable. If you know what I mean. I wouldn't be particularly angry at the fact Mr. Cookie's got past as well, by the way. It's just same old thing. Bluebird hasn't managed to get past that time. More of a surprise than him overtaking. Just kind of says everything you need to know about this race, if I'm honest. Henson has moved up into P7, let me guess. It was on the main straight. Yeah, Bluebird, 3-second warning. 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. 9 seconds now. Orion's up to 6 seconds. I didn't spot him getting the other penalty. It's probably because we're too busy waffling about another penalty. In all honesty, I may as well just keep penalties there. I think that's going to be more important than anything else. Sure, you probably wouldn't actually mind having that on the screen rather than the interval times, because you know that these two are close to each other. You know these two are close to each other. He's starting to get close to them as well, which is wonderful. Have a nice 3-way fight instead of just a 2-way fight. But yeah, other than that, not much going on. If I'm here comes no overtakes happening there. They're not going to go for it. These two are going for it. Oh no, they're not. Oh no, Ferrari has gone for it and has made the move. I've got to say, it's kind of difficult because we got the two fights are basically in tandem. So we get 30 seconds of major action. Brilliant, brilliant action. Everything going wild and mental. And then, whoa, that was big off from Orion. And that has put him on 9 seconds of penalties. And that's going to open the door for the Williams car to go through on the inside of the very tight chicane. This is going to be seriously close racing. Yep, one of them had to back out, and it was the Williams in the end. Yeah, the Williams need a bit more brave. And luckily, the Sauber has understood his mistake, accepted it, and has elected to allow the Williams car to go through there. Very nice of him. And it's kind of sportsmanship racing that we'd like to see here in BRL. Benefit is now for Bluebird is he's going to be able to get away. I'm guessing he's... Yeah, he is. Jay Thompson backing DRS. Orion certainly was. But this is spring interval backing. Very getting interesting. Hunters and Henson just swapping positions there once again. Same kind of yo-yo racing as we've had so far. I can only probably say the same about these guys. Whoa, that Williams has got a very wobbly back end. Made him just about keep in a straight line. Love to see. Bad MX has been sat at the front now for a little while. Kept himself in the lead of this race, whereas Mr. Cookie is sort of held to P2 for a little while now. Benefit for Mr. Cookie is he has a significantly more ERS, doesn't he? I think that's about 43%, and he's on about 60, 59, 57, 56%. It's a good 10% more. Interesting if they get into a battle there. Might not have to, because Band MX has just picked up another 3 seconds of penalties, which puts him onto 6 seconds worth of penalties now. Meaning Mr. Cookie is in a phenomenal position, and we should probably also talk about the fact that Bluebird has elected to come into the pit lane on lap 14. Mr. Cookie's gotten through there down the main straight. Jay Thompson holding Orion off that. In fact, actually Orion kind of doing the work for him. He's nearly a second off the pace, off of Jay Thompson now, which is interesting. I don't know why the sudden change of pace for Orion. Maybe he's struggling on these tyres. Maybe it's because he's avoiding getting any more penalties. I'm not too sure. Either way, it's certainly not working out in his favour. The Ferrari is going to want to try and get in front of these guys as well. That would be absolutely massive in his favour to get in front of them, and he has done so. I can tell you, whoa, Red Bull, very close. Yeah, how the hell he's getting that in a straight line? Blackbone just keeping it on the road there whilst we were on board, which is thing we love to see. Alligator picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings from that infringement that we just watched on our screen. But yes, as I was saying, for Bluebird, massive help, because he had to gone through Alligator and Blackbone, and that would have... It just chops into your time. So what's Bluebird gone on to? I'm guessing a set of hards, yes. Set hards to run out the rest of the race. And it's basically just shy of 50% of the race on the... Over 50% on... What's it called? Hards, that's the word I'm looking for. Everybody bar Jay Thompson coming in now. By the looks of it, now is the lap to pit. Unless, of course, you're on hard tyres and then you're staying out, as is all of those lovely gentlemen. But it is pit stop time. It is earlier than I called. I called lap 17, lap 15. And I imagine for the hard drivers, it will be like lap 17. So, you know, I might have been correct. I don't like the fact that the Rolex watch doesn't move. Why they haven't done... It's things like that that, you know, they spot them. And you don't spot them if they're not... No. I'm surprised that I have spotted them. But if it worked, somebody would notice it. Like 20 past. Oh, this race has been going on for 20 minutes. Heard of it? And that's the kind of stuff you get praised for. Codemasters do better. I'm saying that like there's not like so many more important things that Codemasters need to sort out in the game first. You know, we can just blissfully ignore that part. Mr. Cookie is in an interesting position here. He's got 14-lap-old Caden and Rick Bran just in front, of which is really closing in on Caden. In fact, he'll get DRS out of the Williams car, and I don't think he lost particularly much time out of that corner. He might have lost a little bit out of that corner, I'll be honest. Either way, he's going to get past the Williams not too badly. This is just going to allow him to probably, in essence, put away from Bad MX, because Bad MX is now stuck behind the Williams. 4 sections of track, which aren't quite as preferable. And I think he's going to try and go for a move here, but he's got no ERS whatsoever, which means he's just going to stay stuck behind this Williams for even longer. And it's really bad news for the Red Bull car, because the Williams is going to try and defend round this corner. It's not going to work, but it has slowed him down just a little bit. And Sapphire getting a 3-second time penalty out of that. Mr. Cookie, though, is currently facing the same issues with RIP Brannon. Benefit is the Sauber car has just gone wide and is going to let both of them through. Even though it wasn't a blue flag situation, he's still been decent enough to let them through, which is, honestly, it's just really doesn't really hurt your race very much, but it could catastrophically ruin somebody's race at the front. But, you know, if you want to race, perfectly. Is it wise to race? I don't know. Sorry, BandMX and Mr. Cookie are still inseparable. BandMX just passed the lap of 117 dead. Well, actually closer to a 117.1, but you know. It is certainly getting Orion passes dead, or slightly, literally second faster. Speaking of, he's just got a 3-second time penalty. So it's sort of, you know, swings and roundabouts. Okay, it's all bar one person without penalty. How that's happened. If I'm Jay Thompson, I'm probably now reconsidering going on to, because you've got quite a few seconds, only 3 seconds to Cookie, but 6 to Bad MX, 9 to Bluebird, 12 to Orion. I'm not going to set us off. Oh no, he has come to pit. Guessing. Mediums indeed is. He'll try and I guess come out before Bluebird. That'll be the objective. Will he get out in time? Will he get out in time? No, no, he won't. The sorry, does come clean past Jay Thompson. Exit. He's 6-0-1 behind him. So nothing. Sorry about Orion. Good couple of seconds behind. That means Jay Thompson comes out just behind Edom, currently P5, and gets hit. So much better result for Jay Thompson. RIP, currently P3, but about probably lose that position. Who is, what, 0.3 of a second behind, and on 13 laps to a hard tyres. Different. I think Sauber is going to do the same as he did with the front runners and just let the Ferrari through rather than putting up the hassle, which I can't blame him for. It's not worth getting into a fight with somebody who have anything to do with your race and ruining both of your races because of it, or you know, like a Ferrari could get into it now with the Sauber just faster. It's nice to have a sort of, you know, solid understanding. Bad MX just getting through there on the start finish straight as per usual. Mr. Cookie completes 2. I'm sure they'll be swapped around in just a moment's time. RIP finally coming into hits on those hard tyres. He'll be switching onto a set of mediums, and by the looks of it, falling really rather down the order. Whether he'll get out in front of these 2 cars behind, I'm not 100% sure. Orion with another 3-second time penalty. 15 seconds. Pulse is at 16 seconds. So Sapphire, he's at 15 as well. I can't see him doing particularly well, if I'm honest. Lots of track limits. It's all track limits. All track limits. There's no What's it? Pulse raise must be something else as well because it's 16 and it only goes up in threes. So he must have gotten a 5 somewhere, somehow. I'm guessing speeding in the pit lane. That's usually the one that people get. So what would you get? You get 5 and then a 3 to 8 and then another 3 to 11 and another 3 to 14 and another 3 to 16. Yeah. 5, 5 and 3 threes. 9. Yeah. 5 plus 9, 16. Look at me. Mathematical genius I am. Kadam in pits. So I think that's the last person to pit, if I'm correct. Stops. It is. Everyone else has stopped. So there we go. Everybody has now stopped. Once Kadam's out, that will put him on the straight and narrow for the final 13 laps of racing. He's going to get out behind the Sauber car, who does duck in and gets himself out before Alligator and Blackbone as well, which is once again a massive benefit to get yourself out in front of 2 cars. A, track position, and B, just general helpfulness. So Jay Thompson is a good few seconds off the lead now. He's, what, 12 seconds off the lead. So Mr. Cookie currently in a comfortable winning position. Bluebird with another 3-second time penalty. Puts him 12 seconds. So Jay Thompson, I think, is currently eyeing up 3rd place. Isn't going to get to Bad MX and Cookie. That's not viable, but it is certainly viable to get past the 12 seconds of Bluebird. That's nothing too much to worry about for now, you know. Being safe works. I'm going to leave you Bad MX and Mr. Cookie, and I'll be back in just a moment's time. Wagwan, fam and famettes. We are back. Well, I am back. You've been watching. Nothing's happened. We got a caution, yellow flag, sector 1. That's Orion. Oh no! Orion's in the wall. Got himself back out again, but I'm not too sure what happened there. Obviously, I wasn't watching. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever, I'm afraid. But anyway, he's now popped out P8. He's got 10 seconds to the car behind him and a net 12 seconds. So yeah, he will currently lose the position to his teammate. Oh God, I was worried that he was going to get a penalty for that for a second. I'm guessing, by the looks of it, he's lacking front wing. Yes, the understeer is abhorrent. And whoa, yeah, nope, he's all right. How the hell he survived that, I'm not too sure. Yellow flag, sector 3, that's a Haas. That's Sapphire. Wrong way round. Oh dear, everybody seems to be struggling, don't they? He's missing a end plate. That's the word, end plate. I thought I was going to have to say thingy-majiggy there. Oh, this is sad to watch. I hate it when I have to watch people crawl back to the pit lane. He's spinning up the rears because he's got no heat in his tyres, and I was about to say he's not going to stop in time. Oh dear, yeah. Wise, Orion, wise. I'm not even gonna. Obviously, because you've got no front wing, you've got much less downforce. i.e. much less drag, slowing you down. Plus then you've got less grip, which then means your brakes lock easier, means you slow down a lot slower. And yeah, on 28 seconds of penalties, I'd throw the hat in the bag as well. So I'm not exactly going to sit here and say that that was a stupid call. It wasn't. So that is Orion out of the race. Sapphire as well has also made the call to end the race early. We're on lap 24 of 32. And we have still got this yo-yo fight for the lead of the race. Though in all fairness, it has stayed this way round for quite some time now. If I do say so correctly, I don't think Mr. Cookie has passed recently. Pardon me, Jesus. I had last night. Another 3-second time penalty for Hunters this time. Puts him up to 12 seconds. So you still, Jay Thompson, no penalty yet whatsoever. And he does just seem to be, I'd say, cruising. Obviously, he is in a Formula 1 car, so he is still properly going for it. But he's might not be the fastest, but he's keeping himself in order. That's the most important thing at the end of the day. And it's going to work for him. Obviously, he's not going to get the win, but he's going to get P3 off of Bluebird because Bluebird has 12 seconds of penalties and he's only less than 5 seconds behind. So not only is he going to get P3, he's going to get P3 by a landslide. Mr. Cookie's currently on for the win, whether he stays P2 or goes P1. I doubt Bad MX is going to be able to A, pull away out of Cookie's DRS, B, pull 3 seconds in the space of, well, not now, lap 25, so what, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 8 laps. So Cookie's in a very good position, especially considering now he has overtaken, and for some reason I hadn't quite clocked that. Whoa! Bad MX going for a wild move there at the second chicane, has gotten himself back into the lead of the race in a move that we haven't seen barely. You know what? That was nice. That was nice to have a bit of action. But if I'm honest, it's back. It's exactly back how it was. There's still some close racing. Blackbone down here. These three. This is in. Well, that's really poor from the Williams to allow the Red Bull to come up the right hand side. Does manage to get it at the hairpin. Who gets the better acceleration out of it? I think it's going to go side by side. It's pretty much a drag race to the next corner. Williams with the inside line for the next braking zone, but tucked back in. Red Bull manages to get it whilst they were covered up by the trees, and the most horrible glitching I think you've ever seen in your life. All kind of just almost like it's a really weird effects filter because you can like see the lights and the wheels just like scattering behind it. Oh, it's horrid. Let's see what's causing that. I'll have to ask some PC people if they know what it is. If I'm honest, I'm on PC, but I still don't really know what I'm doing. Try and set it up so it's like the best quality possible at 60 frames a second. Blackbone, 3-second time penalty. Driver we're currently watching, he's now up to 9 seconds of penalties, which means the driver behind is now equal. So this fight means a bit more. I mean, RIP is going to get the lead out of both of them, but you know, at least their fight matters now. And I think the Red Bull's mistake there is going to open the door for the Williams to go on the left-hand side. He backs out. Sauber tries to go for the move. Sauber backs out. That was like the most miscommunication move I've ever seen in my life. Williams went to go for the move, realised, no, this is terrifying, I'm not doing this. Backs out. Sauber sees the Williams backs out. He's braking normally, so he tries to go. Oh, that was not good. And then Sauber had to back out. He braked heavy, much heavier than he needed to let the Williams through. Because I'm amazed that Bad MX went for a move there, because it is just, you move 1 inch either way and someone's in the gravel. It's not someone's in the wall because the gravel's really big, that part of the track. Loads and loads of runoff at that section of the track, but excuse me, once you're in the gravel, that's game over, pretty much. So we have, but 33, 5 laps to go now. We've crunched through 3 since we last checked, and now it is pretty much just a 5-lap race. It's been a weird race so far. It's been, I've been plenty to talk about, but it's not exactly still been exciting. But trust me, that whoa, big cloud of smoke there from Bad MX. Whether that was a lockup or whether it was the rear getting out, either way, he's still stuck right on the back of Mr. Cookie. In all fairness, Bad MX really does now just need Cookie to get a penalty. Cookie will just be driving cautiously at this point, I'm sure. There's no reason to risk picking up that 3-second time penalty and then actually having to fight Bad MX, whereas he can now just keep himself comfortably in front, even if it is hold Bad MX up a little bit. Hence why Bad MX is trying to go for different kind of moves. He needs to get himself in front. I definitely think when Mr. Cookie's in P1, he's driving significantly slower. I haven't got the lap data up, so I have no idea. I still need to figure out how to get like racing tools. I don't know whether you about that. Because I do think that he's slowing down, which is why Bad MX is going for wild moves off of the DRS, which is obviously where everyone's been making the moves so far. He's trying to get a move done at a different time, so he gets the opportunity to put away. Or he's trying to make a move at a different time, forcing MX to get, forcing Mr. Cookie to get a bit worried. Big lock up there for the Red Bull. Mr. Cookie then making a mistake, him picking up a 3-second time penalty, Bad MX going for the move and winning the race. That's Bad MX's logic, as far as I can tell. And I think Mr. Cookie will know that as well. I think he will. I mean, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, Mr. Cookie, but he's not an idiot. Bloody hell, that Red Bull's close to the back. Mr. Cookie breaks just the slightest bit early there, and he's getting a Red Bull to the rear. It is mental. It's quite fun, actually, seeing like the sister car and the brother car fighting each other. And currently the sister car being in the lead. That is quite nice to see. But Bad MX is right on his gearbox. He's just not shifting, is he? He is stuck there like glue. This is quite intense to watch. If there wasn't the penalty disparity, this would be some of the best racing I'd ever seen. It's just the fact that Mr. Cookie's got 3 seconds on Bad MX. Guaranteed. Oh, we got driver stopped. I believe that's Kadem. Yeah, it's Kadem. He's back underway again. I'm not sure if he has any damage at all. Let's quickly check. Kadem. Both front end plates are there. That's usually the first giveaway that there's some damage. Interesting enough, Mr. Cookie's managed to pull a bit of a gap down that main straight. Has a lot more ERS as well, which I imagine he will be making good use of. Bad MX picks up a 3-second time penalty, which pretty much secures Mr. Cookie's fate as the leader of this race, unless he crashes. That's the only major thing now that can affect the outcome of this race, because Mr. Cookie, I highly doubt, is going to be able to rack up 6 infringements. Necessary, well, I don't know how many he's got. Anywhere between 4 and 6 infringements to get himself up to 9 seconds as well. So I think, other than Mr. Cookie making a genuine mistake and crashing, we might already know who's going to win this race. It's lap 30 of 32, and we're halfway through this lap as we speak. So we've got 2.5 laps of racing remaining, heading in through Sector 3 now, through the chicane. That Visa looks awful on the back of that car, but nevertheless, from this angle, it looks so Toro Rosso-y. I love it. Really missed it. The Cookie still holding on pretty nicely. It's not quite as close as it was last time, but I don't think he's going to be massively concerned in letting Bad MX go through. In fact, if anything, that saves him some hassle, because Bad MX won't go for a stupid move now, because he's already in the lead. So it's not like too much to worry about. Cookie, like, if I can give you any piece of advice, don't do anything stupid. Like, you can finish 2 seconds behind and it's fine. RIP getting 3-second time penalty. That puts 9 seconds. So Cookie on 3 seconds is really good going. Thompson obviously on 0 seconds is fantastic. Because everybody else is on 9 or above. Between 9 and 19 seconds are 2 drivers. He's just... Whoa, Cookie. Don't be scaring me like that, man. Because that's just... That throws a right spanner in the works if you crash. He knows it as well. I know Cookie's nervous now. I know he's... The thing is he's got it secured. But has he? I don't know. This is the thing. In every circumstance possible, he should have this in the bag. Pulse has just gone past Bluebird at a really odd time. Heading through the double right-hander, which I don't really think that move is very much. Cookie's going for the move. Oh my god, Cookie. Mr. Cookie, that's brave. That's seriously brave, considering the fact that, you know, you've got 6 seconds on this guy. And he should, in every way possible, finish behind you no matter what. But he's gone for it anyway, so I can only give him the utmost respect for it. Starting through the final lap of today, Mr. Cookie currently sat at the front of the pack with a 6-second advantage to Bad MX. If you're only just joining us, I don't know why you don't even just be joining us now, because you may as well go home. You've not seen anything. And I think this... Oh, Jesus Christ, I thought he'd overcook that. I thought he turned too early. Thank Christ he hadn't. Because that would have just sent me into a heart attack moment. When you're so confident on something and then it just doesn't happen, it's heart-wrenching. I don't care who wins, but at least I like to some knowledge. Through the final corner. He exits perfectly fine. It's well and truly sorted now. Mr. Cookie comes home to win in Imola. And it is a very impressive finish. 6 seconds behind is Bad MX. And Jay Thompson will be the next man to come through. In fact, benefit for him as well is he doesn't have to worry about any time penalties whatsoever. He will have secured the position that he drove in today. It's P3 for Jay Thompson, and he's taking a nice leisurely cruise to the line. The podium is already sorted. Pulse through in P4, but I can only imagine we'll drop a significant level. We're just going to see a massive disparity in, like, people are going to move about all over the place. So Hunter, Henson, and Bluebird all move up 1 position. Pulse has moved down quite a few. He isn't going to have to worry about Blackbone. He's significantly further back. I'm now going to have to just throw on to bear racing this. All the many things going on. The Cookie sends me the Cookie man. He sent me the thumbnail 10 minutes after I started my stream. What use do I have it for it 10 minutes after my stream? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. That was the race. And as much of a yo-yo race as it was still thoroughly enjoying, I've got to say. So I must say, congratulations to all the viewers. All the drivers, sorry. Congratulating, you just show up. We currently load. So there we go. The podium has been decided. Congratulations to the 3 podium drivers who have all driven fabulous races. I can't really say faultless with the amount of 9 seconds of penalties on the podium, but nevertheless, that's about as good as most other people on the track today. So it's not too bad from anybody. Congratulations to the 3 of them. So with that, Mr. Cookie wins for Visa Cash App RB after starting P2, and Bad MX, who started P1, finishes P2 for the Red Bull team. Jay Thompson in P3 for the Williams, and Hunters in P4 for the Mercedes, up from 15 on the grid. That's very good going. Henson P5 for McLaren, and Bluebird in P6 with Polestar in P7 and Blackbone in P8. And in P9, Caden P10, Alligator P11, CRS P Wolf, 12th Orion, Sapphire, Flinner, and Arameleth coming in last place. And join us in just a moment's time, where we'll have some drum roll, please, interviews. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined with only one person of the podium today, but luckily it is the most important person on the podium. We're joined with our winner, Mr. Cookie. How are you feeling?
Very good, especially after the last race.
I mean, first of all, it's nice to see you again. It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like a month and a half at this point. We didn't really do interviews in the pre-seasons, I don't think. So,
No, I
yeah,
wasn't
it's
there
been
either.
nice.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I'm guessing by the sounds of it, and considering the fact that you've won today, you got onto grips with this new game well.
Yeah, I think in the pre-season race, it was already kind of evident. I had like a little bit of disconnect then, and then round one, it was very evident until the last few laps. I think I just struggled a bit on the soft tires, just trying to catch up on the previous races, I
Hmm.
guess. But yeah, this race was good. Not really too many track limit penalties, which I was really worried about at first. But then I think after like lap 12 or so, I just stopped getting them for some reason. I don't know why, but the hard tyres were so much better than anything else that I was driving. And then everyone else around me were doing not as good, I guess.
Yeah.
I think other than Jay Thompson, I think I had the lowest number of penalties. So
Yes, correct.
yeah, I'm happy with that, I guess. That's the only other thing I could take from this race.
Yeah, you and Jay Thompson were the only two drivers with a sub 9 seconds of time penalties.
Stop night, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so everyone else had nine or more
I
seconds
think at
worth of.
some point I saw someone with 24 seconds of penalties
Yes,
in the
o-
top five, and I was like, oh my god,
Orion managed to rack up 28 at one point, because
wow,
he span off, put his car in the wall and lost a bit of his front wing, and then struggled with understeer for the rest of the lap, and then came into the pit lane to get it changed, and because he had no front wing, got a 10-second speeding in the pit lane and called it a day.
fair enough.
Yeah, I said quite plainly, yeah, I don't blame you. The amount of penalties you've got there is, yeah, no, I'd give in. What's it? We had 22, I think, was the maximum today that
A bit
finished.
ridiculous.
But yeah, your race was really interesting because you and what's it? Bad MX basically yo-yoed the entire race.
Yeah, I think we're both very similar on pace, and I think um, Imri, Luba, Jay Thompson, those three, I think, all set the pace. But I think
Hmm.
after they started fighting and kind of not ruining their own races, but like getting into their own fight for a position, then it kind of just yeah, we kind of just pulled away with all the DRS that we got. So I'm pretty happy with it as well. We didn't have to get into any major fights, and whenever I kind of wanted to back out, I backed out fully. I didn't want to get a penalty by the end, especially
Yeah.
because I think he was sat on 6 seconds, I think, for like the majority of the race. So,
Yes. Yeah.
and I had five warnings as well, so I didn't want to go and take any risks. So literally, any time he was trying to go into a fight, I just backed off. I was like, I don't want to try and get there. I just want to just get into the DRS and just hope yeah, just hope it works. And
Yeah.
that is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Just in
And
case, took it in the last lap.
I to be fair, I was surprised. I thought in no way in God's green earth is he going to go for this move, and I was like, oh god, what are you doing? Because you could have just so easily have crashed out then.
Mm. I
But
think by the end though, he was just sat on non-ERS. I think he was just trying to make a let me make a mistake, which
yes.
glad didn't happen in the end. I just took it
Mm.
very carefully.
Yeah, I sort of obviously I don't have the times up and anything, so I don't know like what your times were. But I definitely thought in the last couple of laps that you were not deliberately slowing down, but you were taking stuff very cautiously, and he just wanted to prod you and make a mistake because that was the only way that he was going to get the time on you to win the race.
Yeah, last laps were just like nothing really.
Hmm.
So just want to make sure I was staying on track, and then just kept in the DRS really.
Yeah. How big was the relief when he picked up another 3 seconds?
I mean, it was really good. I'm happy he did, but then at the same time, like by the end of the race, I said 3 seconds. So yeah, bit of both. I'm happy, but I'm also not.
Yeah, well, other than that, I don't think there's much else to say about your race, really. So, you would like to give
I
yours?
mean, qualifying. I guess.
Oh
That
yeah,
was quite
quality.
close.
That was very close. 5 thousandths.
Yeah, I drew in my first and second sectors in
Hmm.
the second lap I did, but I aced the final one, and then unfortunately one pole. It would have been nice to start from there, but um, yeah, can't grab the extra point, but I'm happy because I still leave here now, leading the championship, getting good points. I'm happy.
Uh,
Right,
yeah.
free will race roundup then.
Free world race roundup. Yeah, go for it.
um, hmm. Oh, I don't know. Track limits everywhere. Like I think that's it's not for mine, but it's for everyone else.
Yeah, yeah. I went with
So we'll just put it that much.
yeah, I went with the yo-yo race. That was my 3 words, something along those lines.
That's
Because
to be fair.
what's it? You were um. Oh, but Blackbone has just put 3 words. Blackbone is goat. How do you feel about
I
that,
mean, you did
Cookie?
spin, mate. You were having a good race actually before then. I don't know what you did, but you were having a good race. So take that as a positive, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you and Bad were at it the entire time, and then there was a good few of those kind of fights up and down the grid quite often. But because obviously
Yeah.
you and Bad were doing it, and then as well, what's it, the Ferrari and the Sauber, were
Yep.
doing it a lot of the race as well. We stuck to both of those fights the entire time. Didn't
I
actually
mean, there's
see
not
much
really
of the
much else to
racing
watch in the
elsewhere.
end. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was sort of just more of the same thing but lower down the grid.
Hmm.
But yeah, overall it kept me on my toes. That's always a benefit.
That's good. That's what we
Yeah,
want to hear.
I didn't nearly fall asleep, so it's got to be a decent race.
That's all you want to hear.
Well, congratulations on your race victory, and we look forward to seeing you soon for China. You feeling good about China?
Hopefully, I haven't driven it since all the patches, but
Mm,
I think I was really good there last time I was doing it in round career mode. I think when I was doing
yeah,
it normally, but yeah, feeling good for that one. I think, and just hoping to kind of continue everything that I've been doing normally. So
quality.
let's see.
Alrighty. Well, best of luck. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, that wraps up everything for today. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. It was a quality race, and let's hope for more of the same in China. Well, maybe less penalties, not more penalties. That'd be really bad. Either way, I've been the Casteristics. Thank you all very much for watching. Good night.